Hello, everyone. Coach Hadassah here, and we have some changes, and it's wonderful. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So, I thank you for coming on this journey with me because things are changing. Things are look. I'm growing. Things are changing, and so you're in the midst of some developments, right? New developments. So let me reintroduce myself. Coach Hadassah, metaphysician, emotional development coach, wellness entrepreneur, and a national expansion leader with Extreme FX Global Academy, where Bitcoin and Forex collide. Because now we always say this, that is where the money resides. And so today is Tuesday, right? Let's talk about it Tuesday. So, first of all, I want to say this because this is a new time to be on. Usually, I come on at about 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern. However, I started a 5-day boot camp yesterday that is at I believe it's at 2 p.m. my time. And then afterwards, because VIP, you always go VIP when you have the opportunity to do so. And if you don't, make a way. Right? Make a way. So there's some, the after things that goes on after the boot camp. So that doesn't allow me to be here at the 3 o'clock hour, right? So I had to switch some things around, and I'm thinking like, okay, well, what time to come on? What time to come on? Well, usually here at this time during Coach's Corner. So since that's just kind of like staying in the flow with that, that's what I decided to do, right? Just decided to do to be on. Excuse me, don't bounce the basketball. Look, this real time. What's up? Yeah, you have to bring me my wallet. That's the thing about it. We not had nothing, right? Because I don't want anybody to have any excuses for why they're not doing stuff. And I'm saying that because that's the thing with like most women. Oh, I haven't started because I got this and I got the kids and I got. If you have them, you're gonna always have them until they're probably about 35. And I'm not saying they'll live in your house until they're 35. I'm just saying as far as, you still kind of doing stuff with them and all of that. If you waiting until I'm gonna wait until the kids are grown. I'm gonna wait. You'll look up and you would have waited until you're like 75, 80 years old and have it started. All right. So, they'll come in and it's like, oh, mom, could you, and we'll do this right here while I'm live. Right. Okay. So as I was saying, I changed the time. We're usually on for the Coach's Corner about this time on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. And so instead of doing, these power minutes, because that's what it's called now, power minutes, because we might be on for an hour, we might be on for 30 minutes, we may be on for 15, so we're going to get some power minutes in. Um, uh, get something to drink, right? I mean, if y'all want to bring me some chips, either sour cream or cheddar cheese. As a matter of fact, both. Yeah, but please, Well, never mind. Okay. It's hot outside. I'm just saying you got the Rollo hat. I know it's coming. But yeah, I want chopped sour and sour cream and cheddar cheese. Yeah, not popcorn, the potato chips. And something to drink for everybody.
In the store, you talking about the store down there?
The store that's across the street from the train station.
Yeah, the one that was charging $2 for Arizona.
It's a store that y'all can walk or ride your bikes to. Go. Huh? Oh, okay. Well, go there. Yeah, just go to the store. Y'all know what to do. Remember back in the day, we used to be able to go to the store. Like the corner store up the street, around the corner. That's all I want them to do. It's like I don't have to go to the store. They're not babies. I want them to go to the store. So listen. Yeah, so we're here at this time. And instead of, every day, what's the day? Tuesday. So Tuesday and Thursday at the 6 o'clock hour, because Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're here for the 6 o'clock hour with the Coach's Corner. Is that okay? Is that fine? All right. Okay. So now that we have that out the way, we had the full moon in Scorpio yesterday. And some of you may know what this is about, and others maybe not. And but it is a very, very powerful thing when we are in the time. So there may be some of you who did the vision board party with me. We did a vision board Zoom party at the beginning of the year. And now when I say the beginning of the year, what I mean is April 11th. You're like, beginning of the year, April. Well, I think if we don't all know by now, let's just go ahead and put it out there. The beginning of the year or the new year is not January. It's not. Do your research, okay? Do your own research, but I'm just giving you something to go with to do your research. And it's so much easier now. Like when I was doing the research, wasn't this online stuff where you could do it at your fingertips? Thank goodness I lived across the street from a library. Yeah. So while my children were at school, I was at the library digging for the information and all of this stuff, reference books and just all of these books. I stayed at the library while my children were at school because I had to, I had to study. So yes, the beginning of the year is not January. It is April. And that's according to the scriptures. Right? I mean, when Yahweh gave the children of Israel his time clock for everything in the beginning of the year, because he had to retrain them. They had lived in a certain culture for so long, and they were doing things by that culture, to when they came up out of there, he had to retrain them on his ways, the ways that the universe works. And he was showing them how. Like, this month will be the beginning of the year to you, the month of Abib, and Abib corresponds with the month of April. And they began things by moon cycles. So the new moon is what spawned the beginning of the year, and then also the beginning of each month. So you got and plus that's how they planted. Even today, if you go get a farmer's almanac, and I challenge everybody to, just like you may have a newspaper coming to your house, subscribe to a farmer's almanac. Okay. Now, in the farmer's almanac, the farmers plant by the new moons, the moon cycles, the astrological cycles. They plant by and they plant certain, if they want a good harvest, they plant by the zodiac signs and all of that. Okay, and it's right in the farmer's almanac. They need to know when the new moon, when the moon cycles go, when the new moon is going to be in this sign, and then there's certain, crops to plant at certain times according to the new moon cycles. Okay, and all of this has to do with timing, and that is what that's what King Solomon, the preacher, talked about when, he said that the race wasn't given to the swift, nor, and I say this in my prayer like every day, so I'm going to pull it up, that the race is not given to the swift, nor, so I'm going to read, I want to read it. I'm going to read it. I will not paraphrase. That's not what I would do. Here we go. Here it is. I was returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happens to them all. The word chance means opportunity. So time and opportunity is what happens to the swift, or the strong, or the wise, or those of understanding, right? I mean, because there are many wise people out here. There are many strong people out here. There are many fast, quick people out here. There are many talented people out here. But time and opportunity. They were probably either late or too early, and they missed the opportunity because they were too late or too early. They were not on time. And then there's something else that said, when you're early, wait, what does it say? When you're early, you're on time. When you're on time, you're late. Right? Like when I have to go, like if I'm flying out somewhere, like say if I'm catching a train, train station not too far from me. If I'm catching a train, let's say I'm walking up there. Well, the train comes at a certain time. Let's say it comes at 10:15. Do I leave my house at 10:15? No, I would miss the train. As a matter of fact, I won't leave my house at 10. That's just 15 minutes. I want to give myself enough time to walk up there, right? And it's not really a 15-minute walk, but I want to give myself time for it. Look, anything can happen. Anything. So I want to give myself enough time to get there and then buy the ticket from the machine and walk up the stairs and sit down for a minute. Don't want to rush. Okay, but even before that, I have to wake up early enough in order to get ready, and right. So we have to prepare before time, arrive to be on time. Right? So we have to be ready. So that's that thing with timing. And then also in the scriptures, because I talked about, right, the astrology and the moon cycles and all of these things, that's right in the scriptures too. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14 through 18. He said what the time markers were: the sun, the moon, and the stars, which is the planets, in the way that they move. That's the universal time clock. And the common man is pretty much void of this knowledge. But I see it becoming more common practice now, because we do have the internet and, stuff like that. And then especially people are, as melanated folks, because, other people, they still follow these things. But we have been told like something's, wrong or off with it, or ooh, you're not supposed to do that and all of that. So I'm not supposed to have a clock, because that's what it is. It's the universal time clock. So yeah, you might have, like my phone, I have a time, right? Got the time on my phone. But then you may have an analog clock. You look at a watch or analog clock, and what the a chart, like a natal chart or whatever, but a chart or a picture of the heavens and the movements of the sun and the moon and the planets, they move like the analog clock with the time and with the hour hand and the minute hand and the second hand. They move around. And just like there's 12 numbers on the clock, there's 12 houses, in the astrology chart. There's that 12 constellations. It's really 13. But, let's go with the thing. But they these planets and the sun and the moon move or have movements to where it marks times. And so yesterday there was a full moon. Like we had the new moon, the beginning of the year in April, and we did our vision board party. And there's a certain energy. And here's the thing, we call them transits. Just like again, when I talked about like, getting on the bus or the train or something, it's transit or transportation. These movements are called transits. They create certain energy. And when you do things within that time frame, you're basically like riding the energy right on to your purpose and all of those things. And now you're not doing this hard, grind, because you would be moving against the energy. You would be moving against the energy and you wondering why you're wearing yourself out. And you don't have to. You don't, right? Get in alignment with the energy. And then now you still, you're still, and I'm not saying you're not working. You're still doing something. You're doing, right? Because work doesn't mean grind. Work means to become, right? But you become in alignment with the energy, not against it. And some people are out of time. I mean, literally out of time. Not just like out of time, but there's a time and then you're outside of it. Like you missed the transit or like you missed the bus and then you got to wait for the next one. But now you late. You follow? So why am I saying all of this? I got to get the back, so you can get it with the backstory so you know where we going. Yesterday or last night at 10:31 p.m. Central Standard Time. So of course, adjust that to your time zone. If you're East Coast, that would be 11. That would have been 11:31 p.m. for you. If you're, West Coast or Las Vegas or whatever, that would have been maybe like 8:31 for you. Okay, like adjusted to your time zone. And the full moon is about releasing, right? Releasing or harvesting, letting go. That's what the full moon is about. Okay, full moons, and most people, especially nurses and those who work in, like ER and stuff like that, it's a thing about the full moon, right? Because that has to do with our emotions. Like it's that energy. But then also that full moon was in the sign of Scorpio, which is a water sign, and it's about deep emotions. Like deep, was beneath the surface. And I won't say it's not things that's like all bad or whatever, but it's one of the things that I mentioned as far as the no, I'm not gonna talk about that. About, just say deep emotional things, traumas, It's kind of one of the things that's under this domain. But then also power, right? So we have to dig deep in order to get down to the bottom of some things that when we're down there at the bottom, it might be scary. It might not, it might be things that we don't necessarily like. But and it's dark, but we have to face it, right? Because that's the way that we gain our power back. That is the way that we begin to transform. That's what that Scorpio's energy is about. It's about transformation. But you can only go through transformation when you go deep down beneath the surface. We're not just talking about surface, shallow, stuff. You got to go deep down, like in the abyss, right? Get deep down to the bottom of it, bring it up so you know what this is, what you're dealing with, and you heal it. And with that, there's power, that transformation. So with the full moon, because we're still in that energy, right? And there's something that I do. This is the same thing that we did with the vision board party, with the new moon, in Aries. That's a time that you plant. You plan, things like that. And so with that new moon in Aries, with the beginning of the year, and we had a stellium. And a stellium is when there are luminaries and some planets, all of that energy, it just within one sign. But the ascendant chart, of this year is Scorpio. So the rising of this new year, Scorpio. So this year is about transformation. It's about transformation. Many people have different interpretations of what this year is about with that Scorpio energy. Some people are just like, oh, it's gloom and doom and it's going to be abuse and this and that and the other. And look, it very well may be if that's the energy that you're in, right? It may be if that's the energy that you're in. If you're there, I suggest that you bring it on up, right? Yes. Yes, Curtis. Yes. He said knowledge for life. Exactly. So you might want to, because it's all at the end of the day, we could do this all day, but we gotta bring it. We gotta bring it right on here. Okay. Because if we're abused, we still not victim blaming, not that. Because if someone is hurting you, yes, someone is hurting you, right? However, we were born with an immune system that's a defense for our body. We can defend ourselves. We can take our power back. That's up to us. And there's a way that we have to do it. I do agree with that, right? Because, nobody, you look, again, that's some deep stuff. Okay. There's some deep stuff that we have to, get into to move about in ways to where you're safe to come out of an abusive situation, especially physical, alive, right? But then, there's many forms of abuse. There's mental abuse, verbal abuse, psychological, emotional, and those are the two that I see a lot. That's, it's not talked about often. Emotional abuse and psychological abuse. There are many people going through that with a smile on their faces. And that's what I'm actually in this boot camp about, because I am the one to shed the light. One of many. I'll say that. One of many to shed the light on what that really is, because it's not being talked about a lot. It's not. So this is the year of transformation where we get our power back with that Scorpio energy, because that's the ascendant or the rising for this year. But then also we're talking about it because on this Talk About It Tuesday, because we just had the full moon last night in Scorpio. And so I've even noticed a lot of people, I've been seeing posts, and then even today when we were in our boot camp and things like that. And then it was just, it was amazing to me. And, probably nobody else probably even noticed it, but the color for Scorpio is black, right? It's black because it's when you go down to the abyss and the darkness, right? So it's black. And today, our our boot camp instructor, she had on she had on a bad like black, kind of like a jacket thing, but it was like sleeveless. I was like, girl, you better go on with you better wear that jacket, okay? I mean, it was tough. It was black. I was like, she fly, right? But just that power color, and the way that was, it was black. And then, she got on and she started talking about, yeah, she was fly, wasn't she? And she had on that black. And the first thing I thought about was like, yep, she and this Scorpio energy don't even realize it. She just chose to wear black today. But that's the energy that we're in today with this full moon. Over the next 2.5 days, well, depending on the degree, but in that Scorpio energy, and again, it's about digging deep for transformation and bringing forth that power. And power is the ability to fill in the blank. The ability to fill in the blank for yourself, right? What do you feel powerless in, so that you can reclaim your power back? With this full moon, it's about releasing. So, what is it that you need to release that makes you feel powerless, so that you can reclaim your power? That's what this is about. So there's an exercise that I do. And I've been doing them for some years. And I've noticed that when I did them, there's work involved, right? But when I did these things, I just watched things happen a lot quicker in my life. Not saying that everything, there's some things that, I mean, it's a process, but just the manifestation of it just happens so quickly. And then going through the process of whatever that is to grow with it, flow with it, whatever. And then, of course, because everything is it's learning. When I first started, it was a learning process. And then I found like this stuff really work. Then you kind of get fearful. You like, who should I even be doing this? And especially if you come from a religious background, then you got to fight that off. Should I really be doing this? Is I'm practicing witchcraft? Is it magic? And it's like, no, fool. This is how you supposed to operate. Like that other stuff you've been doing, that's witchcraft. But this right here is how you supposed to operate. It's in the book, right? So again, like I said, with the new moon, it's about planning, planting, all of that. Full moon, you're releasing. So there are some things that and I'm gonna be honest, like I fell asleep in the middle of writing it down. But just giving some prompts, giving some giving some prompts on things that would be things to release. Okay, because we have maybe it's like a 48-hour window. Okay, and many people know about that 48-hour window with a lot of other things, but not this. But this, we're gonna help you with some other things, right? But it goes with everything. I think about fresh food. I like to buy, like fresh vegetables and stuff like that. But here's the thing about it: when you buy it, if you don't cook it and eat it within 48 hours, you have to throw it in the garbage. And if it hasn't gone bad in about 48 to 72 hours, you might want to think about, what was this made with? What did they put on this? Because this is supposed to be fresh vegetables, but it's 4 days later, and it's still like it hasn't molded or anything. Because that's actually how real food does. You got 48 to 72 hours. After that, it's a wrap. You gotta give it away, right? I mean, not give it away. You have to throw it away because it starts to rot. It starts to rot. We know that in our, with Extreme FX Global Academy. What do we say? When we have new people and they're onboarding, we have to get them going immediately. We have to schedule their launch within 48 to 72 hours because after that, it's dead. And I mean, no matter what it is, some say, oh, well, I just want to trade. Okay, we got 48 to 72 hours to get them set up to trade, take a trade, see if they win a loop, but of course in their demo account, so they can see, because then if we don't do that within 48 to 72 hours, what they do, fall off. If we don't get them plugged in, connected with the community, all of that great stuff, fall off. That applies with everything, right? It applies with food. It applies with the people that we're onboarding, right? And then if we have those that say, okay, well, I do want to build a business. All right. We have to get your launch schedule within 48 to 72 hours. Let's do this. Write the list down. Look, I've had mine for quite some time, right? Names crossed out, all of that kind of stuff, right? Still have some more people I can call. Then you call them. Maybe the numbers don't work anymore because you probably had your phone number for 10, 15 years. And you're like, oh, these numbers don't even work no more. But at least you find out and you could clean your phone out. But that's that thing, right? But we have to do that within 48 to 72 hours or else, boom, dead. That's just the principle. Right? That's just the principle. What Amber said, you said my grandma kept the tomato for months and it freaked her out. Exactly. It's like, what kind of tomato was this? Like, I don't know what kind of Frankenstein thing this is, but this is not a real tomato, right? Like from nature, for real, for real. Yeah, that's like that McDonald's stuff when they put that burger in a little bag and put it in a desk drawer, and then when they took it out, maybe like 30 days later, it was still the same, like nothing happened to it. It's like, what's this? So yeah, so we're still in that energy right now. Look, let me make sure we're still in that energy right now, because the degree could have been the degree. Wait, hold on. The degree could have. It depends on what the degree Depends on what the degree was. Look, now you tell my age when you have to gotta take my glasses off to see. Hold on. Uh where okay, so yeah, because it was in the earlier degrees. So it was a seven degree. And now the moon is a fast moving body. The moon travels through the whole zodiac in 28 days. Okay. So it was at 7 degrees. So a full moon. So you got the sun at 7 degrees Taurus and the moon at 7 degrees Scorpio, because those are the opposing signs. It was at 7 degrees. So, which means that it's still in the sign of Scorpio right now. So you still have time to do this exercise. All right. Because I'm going to give you something at the end to do. Right. You got to do something. So here's the thing. I won't say wait till tomorrow to do it. Like, no, don't do that. Do it tonight. You're releasing. Okay. And I'm going to give you some things that you can possibly think about with releasing. You want to write them down. Now, I've had this journal for quite some time, for some years, and I use this as a new moon, full moon journal that I write things out to either plant or release, depending on those moon cycles, right? So I wish I could find one just like this. I tried to order it. I don't think they don't make them. They don't make these anymore. Cause you see, I'm down to like 2 pages left. Anyway, so I have my full moon here. I'm a new moon there. The full moon one here. You want to write down at least 12 to 13 things. You might not have 12 to 13 things to write, but it's good too. But with the full moon, you want to release, right? You want to release. So, Scorpio, what is that about? It's about empowerment, change, crisis skills, self-mastery, intimacy and soulmates, financial partnerships, avoiding power struggles, right? Scorpio rules power, secrets, awareness of others' needs and motives, politics, psychology, charisma. Scorpio rules transcendence, transformation, eliminating old baggage, change, restoration, forgiveness. Scorpio rules crises, taking risks to gain power, compulsions, obsessions, intense interactions, living on the edge. Scorpio rules self-mastery, good versus evil. If you believe in that dynamic, right? Good versus evil. But of course, the scripture says choose evil. Choose evil. It says choose good. It don't say choose evil, right? It don't say that. There's not a knowledge of the good and evil. When you look in the scriptures and you read it, it always says choose good, avoid evil, choose good, abhor evil, choose good, shun evil. It always say that. It's like either or, not both, because that's confusion. Scorpio rules self-mastery, good versus evil, strength, self-discipline, commitment, depth of character. Scorpio rules bonding, sexual intimacy, absorption, soulmates, deep emotional connections, mutual validation. Scorpio rules financial partnerships, loans, taxes, debts, grants, wills and inheritances, contracts and businesses. There's not a Scorpio that I don't know that is they're either wealthy or struggling with wealth. Ain't no in between. And that's depending on how they utilize their energy. But it is a wealth sign. It is. Scorpio rules the misuse. I just said about the energy, right? I said it depends on how they use their energy, because they got powerful energy. But if they misuse it, this is what this says. Scorpio also rules the misuse of power, because it's the sign of power. So the misuse of power, like revenge, jealousy, harsh judgments, destructive urges, power struggles, abandonment, suspicious, or suspicions, guilt. If there's a misuse of that power in this direction, their lives spiral down. Not good. It's self-destructive. The area of the body that Scorpio rules is the rectum, the colon, the bladder, organs of elimination, like PMS, menstruation, sexual diseases, sexual organs, male and females. It rules the reproductive system, because this is how we reproduce, generate, right? Generations. So when we talk about Scorpio, that is talking about generational wealth and leaving a legacy. But is that on the up and up? A highly evolved Scorpio is all about that and find themselves wealthy and with the wealthy. But if it's destructive and utilizing that power and that energy in a destructive way, then it's a degeneration, and the generations after suffer because of that misuse of the power and the energy, right? A misuse of it. So that's not what we're here to do. Okay? That's not what this is about at all. It's about how I have these two shirts. One of them's black, one of them's white. Both of them say the same thing. Generational wealth starts with me. Period. Now, I'm not a Scorpio. However, I know and understand my chart and my energy. I know that my fourth house, which is my support base, is ruled by the sign of Scorpio. I have a planet called Uranus in Scorpio in my fourth house, and it's that planet. It's a change agent. It's change. So for me, yes, I do, sir. Ask me, do I want my change? Yeah, I want my change. You got money? Why you? They didn't have the cheese.
Oh, I thought you said classic.
No, I said cheddar. I said cheddar.
There's a cheddar version of those.
I don't know if there's cheddar lays.
Yeah, no.
Okay, thank you. Did y'all get something to drink?
Yeah, it's upstairs.
Can you bring me some?
It's I'm kind of sweet.
Okay, can you bring me a cup?
You want me to wait till it get cold, or
You could just. I just need something to drink. I'm parched. Thank you. So yes, here's the thing about it. We all have Scorpio energy in our charts. Just because we're not a sun sign Scorpio or moon sign or whatever, we all have Scorpio somewhere in our charts. We do. So you have this same energy somewhere in your natal chart, right? And you tap into that, your well of generational wealth. And we know that it includes money, right? It includes money, but it also includes health. It includes relationships that you form with deep connections and bonds, that because what do we have? We have this common unity, right? And we're forming these bonds and these connections, and that is how we circulate wealth through our community. That's what that Scorpio energy is about, right? It's not necessarily, well, I'll put it this way. When the energy, when that power or that energy is highly evolved and being used in the way with the proper alignment, it's about the whole. It's not selfish, right? But with the misuse of that power and energy, it can be very selfish and destructive, right? Very selfish and destructive. And so, but as you see with what we have with our common unity, that's not so. Right? That's not so. That's not what we're doing at all. Right? We're here to build. We're here to circulate the wealth. For what? Generations to come, to leave a legacy, to do what the scriptures say. Leave an inheritance to your children's children. That's your grandchildren. And then you, right? So you teach your children, you leave an inheritance to your children's children, and then your children is going to duplicate that and then leave it. And then that's the way you just keep passing that down, and you're leaving an inheritance and a legacy. That's that Scorpio energy. So with the releasing of this full moon, right? What do we want to release? Okay. So here are some prompts. And we want to be very specific because we know all about affirmations, right? Very specific. I easily and effortlessly release old baggage from betrayal, right? And whatever, whatever relationships that you want to say, because it's not just about one person with that Scorpio energy, because it rules the 8th house. This is where it's shared energy. It's about energy that you've bonded with another person. Your family lineage, DNA. DNA is under the Scorpio domain too. Well, why is that? We said it rules the reproductive organs and the reproductive system. So sperm, the ovaries, the ovum, all of that is under that energy. Oh, excuse me. I have to drink that. So, where have you felt betrayal? Have you ever experienced it? Childhood, teenage years, adulthood, in relationships, friends, family, relationship, romantic relationships, marriage. Where? Right? Dig deep. Are you still holding on to that? This is a time to release it. Write it down, right? Release it. But then with releasing it, you want to add these words, right? I easily and effortlessly release. Okay? Old baggage from betrayal and, whatever that is, and trauma. Okay? I release the habit of responding to other people's crisis and drama that they create or created. Listen, you don't know what people doing. You don't know. And then you get caught up, and now you pulled into that energy, and that's pulling you away because listen, money is energy manifested on a material plane. Just like they say all money ain't good money. That's because of the energy that it was created in, the energy that it was manifested in. So if you're working towards creating generational wealth, and you have to bring your energy up to a certain frequency in order to do that. And you know that by your emotions. If you anything at pride on down, stop playing with yourself. It's courage on up, where you're attracting from that energy, where it's easily and effortlessly But if it's out of pride, anger, lustful desire, fear, anxiety, shame, guilt, all of that, it's constricted. And it may seem like you're doing something, but you're not. You want to get up there. Courage and above, right? Because then that way you're not even on that same vibration as other people with their stuff and their crisis, and then don't allow yourself to get sucked into it. Because now you could be well on your way to spiraling up, and then here comes, because it happens. That's the test. That is the test. It happens. Here comes somebody with their stuff and their drama and their crisis, and you're responding to it because you don't know. Because what? You might have a deep connection with that person, a bond. And so you just responding because you think you helping or something, but that just took you off. You was almost there. That just brought you right on back down. And then you wondering what's happening. I was almost there. Like the money, it was, why it's not just that situation. That ain't had nothing to do with you. You don't know what happened, how it started. I released the habit of responding to other people's crisis and drama that they created. You could release that. I easily and effortlessly release all tendencies to be involved in power struggles. Stay out of it. I easily and effortlessly release the fear of abandonment. Some people still dealing with abandonment issues from childhood, teenage years, adulthood even. Usually if you're dealing with in adulthood, it started in childhood somewhere. There was a sense of, feeling abandoned or something like that. And then you just find yourself, because when we talk about the law of attraction, there's a thing, it's like law of attraction 2.0. That's a whole nother level. And it's not just about the, ooh, I wanted to attract this. And so it's some other stuff there too, that it has to be cleared out from the heart space in the energetic body, really clearing it out, like for real, for real. And when we usually attract, like we could attract some good experiences, and then we attract the other stuff too. And we have to examine that just like we examine this. And we can't just examine this right here and say, ooh, that was good that I did that. But then look at this and be like, ooh, that didn't have nothing to do with me. You have to look at that. Just if this was an I, this is an I too. Examine it. Right? So let's see. We probably have, that's just 4. That's just 4. I'm trying to see if there's some others. So look, debt. If you're in debt and you want to get out of debt, right? How can I easily and effortlessly, okay, find ways to get out of debt? I easily and effortlessly find ways to strategically, because strategy is part of it too, to strategically pay off debt. Get out of debt, pay off debt, choose one. I say get out. Because there's some debts that you have, you don't necessarily have to pay for with your money. Because they discharged it long time ago. And then you sitting up here trying to pay the whole thing. And it's like you could pay pennies on a dollar. You could negotiate, all that kind of stuff, because they done charged it off. And you sitting up here, got this stuff just weighing down on you. And you don't even have to pay what you thought you did. Get with your credit professional to see all about that. Or I could recommend some books because I did it. I could recommend some books because, yeah, that's something else. But those are things that you can do and write down in this time of releasing in this full moon energy in Scorpio, right? Because what? You want to get all of that off of you and out of you, out of your energy space. It's like cleaning house, right? You have some stuff in your house and everything is just piled up, and you look and you're like, this is spring cleaning. Like you might spring clean your house. Spring clean your house. Like this is the first house. Spring clean this house. Release it, get it out. You could write it down on the paper. You can have it in your book to maybe look at it and say, man, check it. Because I do that all the time too. I look at it and I be like, wow, that happened. I did that. Wow, I happened. That did that. Wow, right? And then some things you might want to write that stuff out and tear it out the page and light it on fire. Just make sure you don't burn stuff down. Make sure you're in a safe area where you can, but you can light it. You can light it on fire. Do the exercise. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. And then you will start seeing things moved and shift. And then you get into the energy of that. And you start following the steps to do the work. Like the scripture says, work out your own salvation. Work it out. Right? At the new moon, when we did our vision boards for the new moon and everything, and at first I had mapped out things I was going to have on my vision board. I had tore out the pages already. I had them all set up and I can't even find them. I don't know where they at. I had to start all over. Well, when it came to creation time and creation mode, it was about travel. I didn't know why my spirit was leading me that way, but it was about travel. And so everything was pretty much about travel on my vision board. And I happened to see a picture that was in the magazine that had Vegas. And I was like, ooh, and I put it on there, slapped it on the vision board. That was April 11th. 5 days later, I was in Vegas. Now, I knew about the trip. I had paid for the ticket, but that was all I had paid for at that point. And I had the other stuff where I was about to, then some things came up and it looked bleak and it didn't look like I was going to be able to go. And something happened with my caregiver. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I want to go. Hey, prayer warriors, come on, help pray with me. And then we're going to strategize and see, Michelle, Coach Cotton. Oh my gosh. She was so instrumental. She was in agreement with me, where 2 or 3 are gathered and agree, right? And next thing you know, everything was just like, boom. But all kinds of stuff was coming up. Fear, doubt, old ways of the way things would usually go, where I really want to do something or be somewhere, but then don't have the support and then can't go and all of that. All of those things start coming up. Like, here we go again, right? Rolled that energy right on into. And then once I got there, I received the most amazing news. Once I was there, though, when my feet touched Vegas soil. Ride the energy, but get into the energy first, right? Right? Coach Cotton said, if I had to put you a sister on my back, you would go get there. Exactly. So this stuff, it's not hocus pocus. It's not just, we're dreaming and then putting some stuff on the board or writing it down and then just sitting here like this. That's not it. That's not it. But we have to move it with our minds and our actions in their movement and have the vision in front of us first because there will be some things that start happening on the outside to knock our focus off. That's why. That's why we create the vision boards. That's why we do certain things within the timing, because when we're on that energy will help to push us even when things start happening to try to throw us off. It's almost like, let's just say, for instance, let's just say you finna leave a bad relationship. You just like, you know what? Time is up. Time to go now. Okay? Your stuff is packed. You got your bags packed, and you out. You ready to go. The train, plane, whatever, finna leave. All of that, and then you making a move. You out. You gone. You done got on the bus, and then here the person come running after the bus, trying to get you to get off the bus. Same thing, trying to get you to going through all kind of displays. Oh, I really love you, and then you ain't loved me for 52 days and a Sunday, 52 years and a Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had a whole lot of time, and so now on today, when I'm on this bus about to head on out, here you come trying to get me off the bus. That's the way stuff happens. So that's why you got to keep that vision in mind. With the vision boards, write the stuff down so that you can see with your own eyes that you wrote this down with your own hand and your pen and your writing, that you did the work creating the vision is before you. So when everything tries to deter you and knock you off course and come and bring you into their crisis and their dramas and they this and their that, you're not getting off the energy train. That's it. So with that, that's my time. I'm out. I'm off. I have to go because it is time for training. And if you want some of these prompts, then just reach out to me. Those who, if you have my email address, coachhadassah@gmail.com. My Extreme FX family, if you want these prompts, of course, you could just tag me in the Telegram groups, things like that. I'll share this information with you, some of these prompts that we have here. But again, it's all about releasing. Release the old, release the baggage, release the trauma, release the betrayals, release anything in abandonment. Release all of those things, because the more and more you release, the lighter you become, and then you can really step into your transformational power. That's it. All right, so that's my time, you guys, on this Let's Talk About It Tuesday, and we will see you tomorrow for the Coach's Corner at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, with myself and Coach Cotton. So you all have a wonderful evening. Peace.